It is Sunday, January 9th at 4:50 p.m. I literally just finished recording last week's episode and I'm here recording this week's episode because, well, if you want to know, go watch last week's episode, because if you didn't, go watch it. Anyway, what would she do? Now, you're probably looking at me like, I don't even know what that means. Who is she or who is he? The best version of yourself. The question, what would she do, changes by context, but the context that I am talking to you about is the best version of yourself. So what I want you to do is take a sheet of paper, write down the dream life that you want to live. Write down every single detail. And obviously it's not going to all come to you at this moment because you don't have it all figured out. And it's going to take some time to figure it out. So just start, write down a bare skeleton, write down what you know that you do want your life to look like in the future. You are gonna start thinking like that person. You're gonna start thinking like them. Every decision that you come across, you're gonna start putting yourself in that person's shoes, who you want to be in the future, and you're gonna think, well, what would they do? What decision would they make right now? And then that's the decision you're gonna make, because as you make those decisions, you will become more and more like that person. And I'll tell you why you should do this. It is a lot easier to become someone else because you know what they're like. That's why people copy others, because they know what aspects to change. So on that same note, you are gonna create another version of yourself. You're gonna know every single detail about this person, and you're gonna be obsessed with this person. And you know what's healthy about this is that it's you and not actually somebody else. It is completely valid to be obsessed with yourself in your head. Obviously, you're not gonna go around telling people, oh, I'm obsessed with a future version of myself and that's who I'm trying to be. No, shut up. Don't do that. That's weird. In your head, you're gonna be completely delusional about who you are and who you want to be, because that's the only way you're actually gonna get there. Like I said before, from now on, every single decision that you make, you're gonna think about what choice would they, good or bad, what would she do, what would he do, what decision would the highest version of myself make. Through those altered decisions and habits, you start morphing into the person that you want to be. The only difference is, like, this time you're not like a stalker, you're just becoming yourself. You're not becoming somebody else. That's what makes this okay. Never ever try to be like somebody else, because it's not worth it, because that slot is already taken up by them. Whether they're a good person or a bad person, a useful scum of the earth, it doesn't matter. That slot is taken up by them, and your slot, who you need to be in your life and for this world, is vacant, and you're the only person that can fit into that mold. The only person that you should ever hold as like an idol in your head is the highest version of yourself, because you know that person in and out and you know how to become like them. Because again, looking at that sheet of paper, you wrote down who they are, you made them. And the thing, again, like I said in the beginning, you need to remember that molding this person and making this person, this personality, is not going to happen in 5 minutes. You need to understand what you want in life. You need to know, you need to be very thorough in what they do. Here's how you know this. You can write down on the sheet of paper who this person is and what they do with their life, how they make money, who they hang around with, what they do on a day-to-day basis. Now, you're going to take another sheet of paper and you're going to write down, what time do they wake up in the morning? What do they do right after they wake up? What do they eat for breakfast? Then what do they do? Then what do they do? What do they eat for lunch? Ideally, what do they eat for lunch? And then what do they do? And then what time do they go to sleep? Or how many people do they hang out with? How many friends do they have? What kind of friends do they have? What kind of social circle are they in? What are they doing as a job, as a career? Write it down in like what you think would be a normal day, or what you want your normal day to be like in the future. And when I mean normal, I don't mean a 9 to 5. I mean what you think as normal in the profession that you're gonna go down in, or whatever you're gonna do in your life. Understand what your goal is in your personal life, your social life, romantic life, and career, and write everything down on a piece of paper. Once this process is over, you'll know what type of person you want to become. And for some people, it'll happen naturally because they wrote it all down. And okay, let me tell you this. The power of writing things down, a lot of people underestimate. For example, I write down all my notes. You will not find a single one of my like school notes on my computer because they're not there. I have a notebook for every single different class, and some of them are running out. The power of taking notes and just writing things down so you can see it and visualize it is different from typing it out and seeing it on a screen. I don't have anything against people who take notes on a screen. It's your preference. But in this case, I highly recommend writing it down so that you can see it and your brain fully encodes it and like stores it. And it's in its like short-term like working memory and soon to be long-term memory. Because when that starts to happen, it'll always be in the back of your mind, I know this is who I want to be. This is what I want to do in the future. And subconsciously, you will start working towards those things. Now, obviously, consciously, you need to start making plans about how to get to those kind of things. It's almost like when you make a vision board. If you just say like, oh, I want to make $100,000 this year, and it's not just gonna snap into your bank account. That's not how it works. You need to make a plan about how you're gonna get there. Putting on your vision board only reinforces the idea, so that you remind yourself every day when you wake up, okay, I know I have this goal. Now, what am I gonna do about it? It's almost like guilt tripping yourself, so that you know that every single day when you see it on your vision board and you know that you're not doing anything about it, you're almost feel guilty. So that's almost like the point of having a vision board, is to see it visually and be like, okay, I know I want to do this, so how the hell am I going to get there? Never just expect things to happen, because it's not. When people say, oh, I manifested this into my life, it's not like they just pray to the universe and it just like bing bang happened. They worked for it and they worked hard for it, and that's the only reason it came to them, because they trusted themselves. They really put their blood, sweat, and tears into, for example, making that $100,000. They found a way to do it, and it happened. It's not just, oh
dear universe, please put $100,000 in my bank account because that's what I want.
It's not gonna work. That being said, it's gonna be hard, but you'll love the life that you're living when it's over. Think about, like, sometimes I see these TikToks and it's like people who are like aspiring to being a doctor, like a lawyer, right? Their years in school and like high school and university are really, really hard. They're not living their bougie life that they want to live at that moment. But that is part of, I guess, like, quote, the manifestation or becoming the person that you want to become. It's not gonna happen instantly. There is going to be a period of really rough and hard work that you have to do to get to where you want to be. And for some people, it'll happen in 5 years. For some people, it would happen in 10 years. The one thing that is similar between those two people who are living their two different lives is that they trusted themselves and they kept working toward what they wanted. They never gave up. They never said, oh, well, I'm not good enough for this, or, you know, they never gave up. They always had the self-esteem to be able to say, like, I know that I can do this, and even though it's taking this long, it's gonna happen because I'm not giving myself another choice. The other thing that I think is important that I've actually been thinking about doing recently, and I literally just remembered that I wanted to talk about this on a completely different sheet of paper. I want you to write down all of your past regrets, all of your embarrassing moments, people that used to bring toxicity or negativity into your life, things about yourself that you used to hate before, that sometimes that keep you up at night and you're like, I can't believe I was like that, I can't believe I did this, good or bad, whatever it is. Write everything down that you regret and you hate about your past self and your past life. Write everything down on a sheet of paper. Write all of it down, and then I want the last sentence to say, even though all of this happened, I'm choosing to let it go because I know that better things are coming for me and I am worth a better life, and I know that I deserve a better life. It can be the exact thing that I just said or something akin to it. It doesn't really matter. As long as it has the same meaning and you know what you are talking about. Write it down. Either take a lighter or a matchbox and burn that piece of paper, because that is a symbol of you letting go everything that is dragging you down and dragging your progress down, and you are fully becoming free of all of your regrets and your past life and everything that used to, you know, hinder you from getting to where you want, and you're gonna burn that stupid piece of paper. It's gone. You are never going to think about those things again. And I actually need to do that, so I have been thinking about it since like winter break, but I haven't had time, and I actually really want to do it this morning, but I didn't wake up, so I actually might do it now because it's snowing, so nothing can light on fire. So yeah, I think I might do it today. It doesn't have to happen in one sitting. If you think that there's more that you can still write and it's not coming to you, or it's just really difficult, which I can completely understand, do it in a couple sittings. But the minute that you feel confident that you have written down everything that you want to let go, that you are so tired of, you know, regretting and thinking about, that is when you write that last sentence, you sign it at the bottom, you go outside and you burn it. You're never going to think about those things again. That is, I think, step number one to becoming the highest version of yourself. Because honestly, like, if you think about it, the highest version of yourself never is going to regret any of the things that they've done or worry about what they could have done 20 years ago, how they shouldn't have been friends with that one person or made that decision that one day. They don't think about things like that because it's not worth their time. They have much better things to think about and decisions to make now in the moment that can make their life better, that they're not gonna dirty their mind thinking about what could have been. Don't do that to yourself, because I know the effects of it and it's not good. Keep this in mind, and have a good day, have a good night, depending on when you're listening to this. I will see you next week, hopefully. let's hope I don't procrastinate all of this again. But yeah, all right, bye.